And welcome back to This and That is our good friend Julie Baumgartner joining us from First Things First to talk about sportsmanship out there on the field. And we hate to see this every time. And, you know, we were looking at some video for the show, and you type it in, and there's just a long list on YouTube of parents fighting out there on the football fields, basketball courts, you name it. It's an unfortunate incident that continues to happen over and over again. That's why we're glad you're here, because you can kind of really talk about the effects of that after that video has been posted, after that fight has been had, because that's a long-term effects here.
It is, yeah. Well, you know, we talk a lot about parent involvement, but this is over-the-top involvement. Right. And when you actually talk with the kids, it's very embarrassing for your parents to be acting like that. We are supposed to be the adult, and we are supposed to conduct ourselves appropriately, and we're supposed to be teaching them.
Right.
And when you see that kind of behavior, it ruins it for everybody.
And you got a staggering stat out there as well that you want to share with everybody, because this is unbelievable.
70% of kids who participate in organized sports quit by age 13. And the reason they quit is because they say it's not fun anymore. And I think that in large part that's because sometimes coaches, many times parents, forget this is supposed to be fun.
Sure.
It's about the children, and it's not about living out your dreams through your children and their sports activities.
Now, we're showing some video here, and, you know, again, we kind of hate to show this, but this is reality here, folks. But when you see this, lots of times it's a reaction to a play, a reaction to a bad call. Maybe a child has been knocked over by another teammate, and that's when the parent really comes in and says, you know, hey, what are you doing? But that's the most important time that we need to act like adults. Sure, you might be angry at the call, who I've yelled at the TV screen, but, you know, that's when you have to be the adult here.
What you do with those moments as the adult speaks volumes to your children. How you handle that really teaches your children, oh, okay, it is acceptable for me to behave in this manner. So I think we always, even if you're just replaying it in your mind, be the adult, act like the adult. We have to remind ourselves that you're not the coach, you're not the official, you're not out there playing.
Right.
You're in the stands, and you are a fan of your child. And if you see something that you think is inappropriate, you can handle that in a way that's perfectly acceptable. You can go and have a calm conversation. You can ask to speak with someone after the game. There's lots of alternatives to actually really showing yourself in front of your kids.
And you kind of mentioned, even if there's not a fight like this, and we hope that there never is ever again, but you know, I remember reading a great blog post, and it was just titled The Ride Home. And that's when, you know, how do you talk to your son or daughter about, you know, maybe they did have a bad game, but, you know, they tried their best, but, you know, you want them to do better, but it's very important during that talk of, you know, encouraging them, but not being upset at them.
So you can talk about, did you give your best effort? How did you feel about your game today? What did you learn from your experience today? And every one of us makes mistakes, which I think that's the big picture for being involved in sports. When you talk about why do you want your kids to be involved in sports, most parents say, well, I want them to learn how to participate on a team. I want them to learn some self-discipline. I want them to make new friends. And those are all great. But when you lose that perspective and your expectations become unrealistic, some parents see that their kids are excelling and they think, oh my gosh, we've got some real potential here.
Right.
But the reality is there are not that many folks who go on to become professional athletes. So really keeping your expectations realistic and keeping perspective for your child. This is meant to be fun. And when you see parents yelling at 5, 6, 10, even 14, 15-year-olds.
And lots of times you can see that child reacting in the same way to whether their teammates or the other team as well. So we could talk about this for a long time.
All day long.
You know, unfortunately, but some great advice there as well. But you know what, folks, when it comes to, you know, the great ideas, great tips on raising your kid, maybe you're just getting ready to have a child or start a family, the folks at First Things First, you know them. They do an outstanding job. They're located at 620 Lindsay Street, Suite 100. They're in Chattanooga. The phone number is 267-5383. Of course, you can always go to their website, check out some of their latest classes at firstthings.org. Always packed full of advice. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.